Hello, everybody. Welcome to this orientation session on the Baylor Honors College. I am Julia Haydock. I'm a professor of classics, and I'm also the associate dean of the Honors College. And it's my great privilege to welcome you all. I'm sure you have realized by now that the Honors College is the jewel in Baylor's crown, and we're going to talk a little bit more about some specifics, but just for your general orientation. I love this vision of the Honors College because it actually says something. It doesn't just say, we're devoted to excellence in teaching, research, and service. It says, we love truth, kindle faith, cultivate virtue, in friendship, study, and service to Christ and neighbor. And every one of those words, except maybe the ands and buts, is really important. We actually love what we do, and we believe that there is such a thing as truth. It's not something we're just going to hand to you, but it is something that we believe is possible to discover, and so we're really excited about that. Faith, of course, as you know, is an extremely important part of what we do here at Baylor and our identity. It doesn't mean that we expect that everybody will have the same faith, but it does mean that it's something that we take very seriously, and we have great conversations about it. And virtue, what a crazy idea to hear that in the mission statement of an actual modern university. But we are very excited to have you here. Is there anybody here who is not yet in an Honors College program? Or are you all? Everybody's in something? Okay, wonderful. Well, I am now going to hand you off to my colleague, Dr. Sarah Walden, who is one of the core players in the Baylor Interdisciplinary Core.
Thank you. All right. Hi, everybody. Welcome. As Dr. Haydock mentioned, I am a professor in the Baylor Interdisciplinary Core. My name is Sarah Walden. I have also been an assistant director and advisor for the University Scholars Program. I have also advised many honors theses. So I am part of lots of different parts of the Honors College, and you'll see that for many of our faculty, that we're all integrated into various components of the Honors College. So what we're going to do today is basically go through about a 15-minute presentation on the 4 components of the Honors College. So I'm going to talk you through each of the different components. There's 4 different components in the Honors College. I'll give you some quick information about each program. For those that are still accepting applications, I'll give you some admissions information. And then we're going to have plenty of time at the end for you to go to different breakout sessions in this room and talk to representatives from each of those programs as you wish. So let's get started. Okay, so just some quick information about the Honors College. We have a dedicated and engaging faculty. You'll see that because we have so many people in this room that are from the Honors College already here. We have people that are really interested in being your mentors, in being your professors, in helping you cultivate virtue, in helping you serve your neighbor. All of the things that our mission statement mentions. So I think you'll really find that in the Honors College, because we focus on small class sizes and discussion-based learning, you'll develop relationships with those faculty members more so than you might in larger classes where you don't get to know people quite as well. We have 1,500 students, which represents about 10% of the Baylor population. And we have, as I've mentioned, a diversity of program offerings depending on what you're most interested in. So there are a lot of different ways that you can go in the Honors College. You can do many of the programs in the Honors College simultaneously, so you don't have to pick just one if there are a couple that you feel like fit you well. And as we said, there's a small class size, which is something that we think is very important. Some of the classes will have a larger meeting here or there, but for the most part, your classes are going to be probably around, on average, about 18 people. So you're going to know everybody in the room. You're going to know your professor. You're going to be asked to discuss. Your opinion matters. So this is something that we really value because we think that learning isn't just from professor to student, but among students in a community. So the way the Honors College is set up, and this can be a little confusing, I'm probably going to repeat myself a couple of times, but it's for all of our benefit because even I can't keep it straight in my head sometimes. We have 4 components, 2 majors, so university scholars and great texts are majors. So just like you would declare a history major or a biology major, you would declare university scholars or great texts your major. We have 2 programs. These are kind of enhancements that can be added to any major. These are the honors program and the Baylor Interdisciplinary Core. So I'm going to go through each of those in turn and talk about what each of those components are, but keep in mind 2 majors, 2 programs. And then finally we have housing. We have the residential college for the honors the honors residential college. This is a place that you can live, so it's a living and learning community, but it's also kind of a hub of honors activity. So whether or not you live in the actual building that is the honors residential college, you will do a lot of work with the honors residential college. You could potentially go to see speakers there. There are mixers and meetings and social events. So again, whether or not you live there, you will be part of the HRC and part of that community. So to go into the majors, university scholars and great texts. University Scholars is for gifted, highly motivated students. This is a program, or excuse me, this is a major in which you design your own curriculum, okay? This is really best for students who have an idea of something you want to do in the future that would require you to double or triple major in ways that, you know, you would rather find a way to put together those majors or put together the classes that you want that will help you achieve your goals. So for university scholars, you would concentrate in several areas, which means you would take a certain number of upper level classes. But unlike a traditional major that requires you to take certain classes, you are able to say, okay, I want these 15 upper level hours, but they may not be the classes that are designated as the major if you were to be majoring in that area. I hope that makes sense. But basically, it allows you to combine different classes in ways that meet your needs. This is for students, you have to maintain a 3.5 GPA all the way through. So it really does, because it is self-motivated and self-led, you do have to be very careful with making sure that your grades stay up so that you can continue the program. As we said, there's an individualized curriculum, and you are consistently working with faculty advisors and mentors to design your curriculum and to help you figure out what might make the most sense for those goals that you have. We also have affiliated faculty in just about every department on campus, so while they're not your University Scholars mentor, they are somebody that you can go talk to who understands the program and is able to give you more specialized advice in different areas. They're not currently accepting applications for the fall, but they will be accepting applications for the spring. So if you're not currently enrolled in that program and it sounds like something you want, just keep that on your radar. You would need to have a 3.5 GPA to be able to apply in the fall going into the spring, and you'll receive communication about that at some point if that's something that you're interested in. The other major that we have is great texts. So great texts is a interdisciplinary major that focuses on the great texts of Western civilization. It combines literature, philosophy, politics, theology in small seminar-style classes. So these are really great for people on pre-law and pre-med tracks because it allows you to think about the kinds of work that you'll do in those areas in light of larger questions of virtue or ethics or faith or service. And so it allows you to use these texts from ancient to modern and inform the kinds of questions that you would be answering and putting into a practice as a doctor, as a lawyer, as a specialist in one of these fields. It's also good for anybody in any field. But specifically, we find it very useful for people who are in kind of more applied tracks like those. It's practical learning that connects knowledge, ethics, and enjoyment. Again, those small seminar-style classes really help a lot in terms of giving you conversations that you can kind of ruminate on for a while, that you might really enjoy and think about later. So those are the 2 majors, university scholars and great texts. For admissions to great texts, there's no specific requirements for admissions, and if you declare a great texts minor, you are automatically in the honors college. I want to distinguish this from the honors program, okay? You're not automatically in the honors program. That is something different. So the honors college, as we said, combines these 4 elements. So there's 2 programs. These are programs that can be added on to any of the majors that you might have, be it university scholars, great texts, or any other major in all of Baylor. So the honors program, this supplements any degree or major. It largely, again, focuses on discussion, research, and interdisciplinary training, just like all of our programs do. And the major hallmark of the honors program is that you will do a thesis in your junior and senior year. So this is a project undertaken with a faculty mentor, typically in your major, but not necessarily, because as we said, many of you will be interdisciplinary, so you might be combining different fields. So the project of the thesis is a really important one if you're somebody who's looking to go into graduate or pre-professional fields that need you to demonstrate extensive research experience, that needs you to demonstrate that you can work with faculty colleagues. It does both of those things, and you have a lot of freedom in what you choose to write about and how you choose to go about this project. So it might sound scary on the surface, and it is a lot of work, but it's something that's really important if you are interested in continuing on in a track that will have you be doing research. You need to learn those methods and those skills. There are classes that are taught by many of our faculty and staff members that will help you prepare for that thesis, so you're not completely on your own. But this is one component of the honors program. This is why I made the distinction in great text between college and program, because in great text there is not a thesis unless you are also part of the honors program. And just to make sure that distinction is clear. Okay, and then finally we have our second program, the Baylor Interdisciplinary Core. So this focuses on your first 2 years at Baylor for the most part, and this is a core replacement. So in any university you go to, Baylor included, you have to take a set of core requirements: English, history, music, art, those kinds of things. The Baylor Interdisciplinary Core, or BIC as we call it, and that's what I'm going to call it from here on out, will combine those into classes that are organized around time period or theme. So rather than taking them all separately with different professors in different departments, you would have a class integrated around, say, ancient texts. And you would have professors that are from a variety of disciplines teaching you their perspectives on that text. So what would a philosopher say about the Bhagavad Gita? What would a religion scholar say about Confucius? What would a historian say about the Old Testament, right? And so you get a lot of different disciplinary perspectives on the texts that you're reading as a group. So this is a way to replace general core requirements. Yes?
We have one.
Yes.
Can people work all of these together?
They can work, the only thing you can't combine is great texts and university scholars because they're both separate majors. But you can do a concentration in great texts though. So yes, any of these programs can work together, as far as I know. Is there an exception? Okay. All right.
Just wanted to definitive stuff.
Yes, absolutely. So you are welcome to choose multiple, for sure. Many of us have. So I am an alumni of the Honors College before it was even an Honors College, and did 3 of the 4. So again, we focus on small group discussions, we focus on primary texts. This is the program where I mentioned every once in a while you might have a large group. So we will have meetings in the VIC where you have all 200 of the students that came in that year meeting maybe once a week to get a lecture, and then you would break out into small group sections for the rest of the week. So there are some large groups, but if there are, it's still very different than kind of an anonymous large lecture like you might be worried about. This one is still accepting applications, so we review those holistically. There is not criteria that are required for admission or a GPA that has to be required all the way through. One of the things that we think is really important about Baylor's Honors College is that honors can mean a lot of different things, right? Honors can mean a certain GPA and test scores, but it can also mean orientation toward a particular way of learning. So in the BIC, if you're somebody who really likes to ask a bunch of questions together, that might be something that is different for you from your high school, and it might be something that really furthers your learning in ways that you didn't get in classes in high school. I know that was true for me when I was in this program years ago. So applications are still able to come in for BIC. All right, and then the final thing is the Honors Residential College, which, as I mentioned, is a living and learning community. Some people live there, everyone learns there, everybody can be a part of it. And you are able to visit that if you want to as while you're here, and you can think about all the different ways that that might be part of your life in the Honors College. As I said, speakers might come in, there might be panel discussions, there might be study groups, there's lots of ways that you're involved in the HRC. The last thing I'm going to put up here is the contact information for any of these programs. At this stage, we're going to break out so that you can talk to anybody that's a representative from these different programs, but if you don't get to talk to somebody today or you have to rush off to the next thing, these are the contacts for all the different programs if you have questions or want to know about admissions or anything like that. So now I'm going to have Erin Stamil come up. She is our Director of Enrollment Management, and she will tell us where to go for the rest of the session.
So we are going to break up now. Whether you are interested in a program or already in a program, you can feel free to mix and mingle with the various areas here. So if you are interested in the BIC or are already in the BIC, you're going to meet BIC colleagues in that side of the room. For honors program, right over here. For university scholars, here, and on the far side, great text. So thank you all for being here.